Fake HOA Flattened Firefighters tires at a fundraiser. The town lit up with rage. Have you ever seen a community hero betrayed by the very people they protect? In the small town of Crestwood, a sunny Saturday fundraiser for the volunteer fire department turned into a battleground of betrayal, sparked by one woman's vendetta. Karen Whitaker, the self-appointed queen of the Crestwood Homeowners Association, didn't just cross a line, she obliterated it, leaving the town in an uproar that no one saw coming. The Crestwood Fire Department's annual fundraiser was the heart of the town's summer. Kids darted through the park, clutching cotton candy, while firefighters grilled burgers and raffled off gift baskets to fund new equipment. The air buzzed with laughter and the clink of donation jars filling up. The volunteers, led by Captain Jake Morales, were local legends last year. They'd saved 3 families from a raging wildfire, risking their lives without a second thought. But Karen, the HOA president with a clipboard always in hand, had other plans. For months, she'd been waging a quiet war against the fire department, claiming their outdated truck parked near the community center was an eyesore, and their training drills were too noisy. The truth? She wanted control, and the firefighters' independence threatened her iron grip on Crestwood's pristine image. As the fundraiser hit its peak, Karen strode into the park like a general marching to war. Dressed in a crisp blazer, she carried a stack of flyers accusing the fire department of mismanaging funds and endangering the community. The crowd murmured, confused, as she climbed onto a picnic table, megaphone in hand, and declared the firefighters a liability. Jake, a burly man with a calm demeanor, tried to reason with her, explaining that every dollar raised went to gear and training. But Karen wasn't listening. Her eyes gleamed with a strange mix of triumph and spite. Then, as Jake turned to address the crowd, a piercing hiss cut through the noise. Heads turned. Gasps rippled. The fire truck's tires, all 4, were slashed, deflated to the ground, with tire irons carelessly tossed nearby. The fundraiser screeched to a halt. The crowd erupted. "Who did this?" shouted Maria, a local baker who'd lost her shop to a fire the volunteers had contained. Fingers pointed at Karen, who stood frozen, her megaphone dangling. She stammered, claiming it was a misunderstanding. But the evidence was damning. A teenage volunteer, Liam, stepped forward, his voice shaking. "I saw her. She was by the truck with those guys from the HOA board right before it happened." The twist hit like a spark in dry grass. Liam revealed he'd overheard Karen at a recent HOA meeting, plotting to teach the firefighters a lesson for ignoring her demands to disband their volunteer unit. She'd rallied a small posse of loyalists, promising them influence in her HOA regime, and they'd executed her plan with ruthless precision. The confrontation exploded into chaos. Jake, usually unflappable, towered over Karen, his voice low but searing. "You think you can bully us out of protecting this town? Those tires were for the truck that saved your neighbor's house last summer." The crowd surged forward, some chanting for Karen's resignation, others demanding answers. Maria, tears in her eyes, held up a photo of her rebuilt bakery, shouting, "These people are heroes, and you're tearing them down." Karen's posse tried to defend her, but their voices drowned in the crowd's fury. Then, an unexpected ally emerged. Mr. Thompson, a quiet retiree who rarely spoke at town meetings, hobbled forward with his cane. He'd been the HOA's treasurer years ago and dropped a bombshell. Karen had been siphoning HOA funds for personal projects, including a lavish community beautification campaign that mysteriously aligned with her home's renovations. The slashed tires weren't just sabotage, they were a distraction from her own misdeeds. Karen's facade crumbled. Her smug grin vanished as Mr. Thompson produced bank statements, passed around like wildfire among the crowd. She tried to flee, but the residents formed a human wall, their phones recording every moment. "You don't get to walk away from this?" Maria snapped, her voice cutting through Karen's excuses. The police arrived, summoned by a quick-thinking vendor, and Karen's accomplices confessed on the spot, admitting they'd acted under her orders. The tire irons were traced to a shed behind Karen's house, and security footage from a nearby gas station showed her buying them the day before. The evidence was airtight. Karen, red-faced and trembling, was escorted away in cuffs, charged with vandalism and theft. The crowd cheered as the patrol car pulled away, but the victory felt bittersweet. The firefighters, still reeling, stared at their ruined truck, knowing the fundraiser's funds wouldn't cover the damage. Yet Crestwood refused to let Karen's sabotage win. By sundown, the community rallied like never before. Maria organized a new donation drive, and residents poured in cash, supplies, and even spare tires from their own garages. Mr. Thompson, now a local hero, set up a transparent fund to replace the truck, vowing to oversee every penny. Jake and his team, humbled but resolute, worked late into the night, patching up what they could. The next morning, a local mechanic shop volunteered to repair the tires for free, and the fundraiser resumed stronger than ever. By week's end, the fire department had raised double their goal, with donations flooding in from neighboring towns inspired by the story. Karen, meanwhile, faced a public reckoning. Her HOA presidency was revoked, and a class action lawsuit loomed for her misuse of funds. Her name became a cautionary tale, whispered in Crestwood's coffee shops and playgrounds. The firefighters stood taller, their bond with the town unbreakable. Jake, speaking at the next town meeting, held up a new tire, a symbol of resilience. "This isn't just about us," he said, his voice steady. "It's about a community that fights for what's right." Crestwood learned a hard lesson. Heroes don't always wear capes, and villains don't always lurk in shadows. Sometimes they hide behind clipboards and megaphones. The town's spirit, forged in the heat of that day, proved stronger than any sabotage. What do you think? Did Karen's actions cross a line that can't be forgiven? Or is there room for redemption even for someone who betrayed their community's trust? Share your thoughts, because Crestwood's story isn't just about one woman's fall, it's about what we stand for when the stakes are high.